Christians ultimately are a people of the story. And myself being an Anglican coming from the English tradition, definitely the story is one of the most captivating and important ways that our tradition has historically done theology or understood how all things should cohere together. So for example, what this means is, again, and none of this is to say attacking thing about another tradition, but it is to draw some distinctions here. Although Anglicans also do systematic theology in a sense, more so we do contextual theology and, like I was saying before, narratival theology or theology that's based in the story. Now, where would this come together to make a difference? Okay, we could look in a couple different ways. One, we could look at something as a high church Anglican, I would say like the 39 articles, where we could look at it and rather than saying, okay, article 27 says ... here's how we lay everything out. Rather, we could say, what is this saying within the context of the year 1571? What's it responding to? And then that allows us to do a different form of ecumenical theology today that would say, okay, here's the main substance of what this article is saying and was saying then. How can we align it with what this other tradition is saying in our modern ecumenical talks and then move forward from there in a constructive way? If you want to look, I'd say the best ecumenical work ever done is between the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Communion in Archic 1, 2, and 3, headed by such names as Henry Chadwick, who, by the way, is buried with a stole that he got from St. Pope John Paul II, and some other figures as well. This was right after Arthur Michael Ramsay was the Archbishop of Canterbury and Pope Paul VI in Vatican II. But all this comes together, a lot of that great theology comes together in the post-Vatican II period. Now, so that's one way you can see it play out is in the way that we can do ecumenical theology. Another way you can see it play out is just in our abilities to see the story as the overwhelming, captivating thing. So, for example, we can look at something like atonement theology, which I would definitely hold in an Orthodox sense, but I can understand atonement theology within the grand sweep of the narrative and not just get bogged down in like, okay, this is what it says in this chapter in this verse, but rather it's like, what's really going on here with all with the whole breadth of witness of Scripture, with the whole breadth and witness of tradition and Christian theology, and how do I understand the full grand sweep of what's going on? And then I place this like microcosm or this window atonement theology, which is a very large and encompassing reality. I'm not downplaying its significance at all, but I'm saying that beautiful part of the story is fit within this larger narrative of creation, fall, the calling of Abraham, the incarnation, and then the church being the temple through which God's flowing out his truth into the world. So again, I just would give a plug here I love systematic theology, but theology based contextually and in the story can be very powerful if used properly. God bless.